With respect to the current market, something that I've been noticing is something that a lot of our realtors have said to me as well, is they feel like there's been a shift this year. It's almost like our market heated up a lot later, which we're all aware of. But what's been nice is that week after week, we're seeing 400 to 500 sales per week. And I've noticed that probably for about the last 8 weeks myself,
That's so great.
which is great. Typically, we've been a little bit slower in the summer months, especially around Stampede. But I haven't seen a general shortage in sales happening over the last week as it stands.
The amount of realtors, think of all the events that we were at where people were getting offers, booking showings, trying to run outside the Cowboys tent for something, and they're just like, typically Stampede is dead, and for a lot of people it was, this is the time that phone calls are coming in, which no complaints.
It is, you're absolutely right. You know, a pro tip for all realtors is that you set your clients up for, you set their expectation early.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of competing situations, even for condominiums right now. I've seen backup offers on condominiums. First offer gets bounced out, next offer wins. So, when you tell your client that, yes, your property's been on the market for 90 days, it still is possible. And more importantly, you tell your buyers the truth that you could end up in a competing situation. Some of them will look at you like you're nuts, but it's true. It's still happening. Prepare your client that it could happen. That way you look more like the rock star for preparing them.
Nice.
And let them know how it would unfold if that does in fact happen.
Yeah, that's great. Hopefully we see a lot more of that. Stampede was great for everybody in the hospitality tourism industry. Great weather means a lot of money for our city. So by the sounds of it, a lot of people did great this year. Stampede itself had 1.3 million people go through the turntails, which was up from last year, which is great. Stampede was super, super pumped about that. Lots of tourism that came into the city. So hotels, restaurants, all that jazz doing a lot better. So that's great news. On the not so great news, but we don't really know where we're necessarily going to see this go yet, the Bank of Canada did increase rates 1.5% last week. So that's something, and it is speculated that that is going to happen again, especially if the new tariffs create some more inflation, in which case the Bank of Canada likely will be raising interest rates to kind of keep our Canadian dollar stable. So we'll see how that goes. Also, the new, not new, new-ish, it seems like it's new every day depending on what Trump decides to say out loud that day. But obviously the chat among the U.S. and China in terms of that trade war isn't going to do great for Canada. There's a ton of tariffs that were just put on. By the end of the month, there might be another $200 billion put on Chinese products. And for Canada, all of the manufacturing that we do is highly based off of Chinese products. So that could be a little bit of a problem for us. But again, we'll see how all of that goes. There's a lot that needs to shake out before we see how this stuff affects us.
Indeed.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, well, looking at some of the numbers, let's look at the price of oil. So price of oil is down a little bit, 71.71. The Canadian dollar is at 0.7597. One note on the U.S. dollar, I remember, $48, and just being like, this will never get better, right? And you know what? It really didn't take that long. I mean, I'm young. I haven't seen a lot of cycles. But in the scheme of time, how I compare time, it really didn't take that long for that to get better. So in terms of the panic button, we all press like, who knows if that'll go down again. But for right now, it's not that bad.
Yes, indeed.
Not that bad.
Our number of listings. Metro Calgary this week, 9,564 versus 8,973. It's up 591. For Red Deer, we're at 867 versus 863, so pretty much the same market there.
For our months of inventory, right now we are at 5.28 for all of our properties. Single-family homes is at 4.27, and condos is 6.87. So all of those are up a little bit, but like Terence was mentioning, we think that we're going to start seeing some sales happen quickly, and that's going to take care of those arrow signs.
For the surrounding areas, with respect to absorption rate, for Okotoks, 5.38 versus 4.80. For Airdrie, we're at 5.69 versus 5.77. Cochrane, 5.90 versus 5.93. Strathmore, we're at 8.72 versus 8.42. And in Sundre, we're up to 17.29 versus 11.78. In Chestermere, 6.86 versus 7.18. And in Red Deer, 6.28 versus 5.87, keeping in mind that a balanced market is about 2.5 to 3.5 months worth of inventory. For the benchmark price, we're looking at $436,500 versus $436,900, which is essentially unchanged. And as far as Red Deer is concerned, we're looking at, for single-family homes, $348,367, and condos at $211,047.
Awesome. Well, that is your market recap for this week. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of great data to go into your real estate conversations with.